Build Anything with AI channel.
Welcome to the Build Anything with AI channel. Today we are looking into YouTube's harsh reality, why most videos get less than 50 views, determining if we can change that with AI on my own channel with the YouTube API for analytics. We are going to try and determine if we can do some analysis on our channel with the API and then make that app available to you. And we're going to try and build something that even you can try for free or build on your own. So the vision here is we pull analytics from the YouTube API. We analyze thumbnails, titles, retention. It suggests improvements and new content angles. Instead of YouTube Studio tells you what happened, I want AI to tell me to do what's next. So the first step is going to be creating our project, but we want to map it out a little bit. So this is going to be YouTube AI channel assistant, because a lot of what I was doing was taking screenshots of my analytics and my thumbnails and doing it in ChatGPT to try and get assistance. But we want to make this more streamlined. So we're going to be using Next.js, Supabase. I've got a pre-ready products requirement for AI YouTube Analytics and Thumbnail Assistant. And what I had done was I was prompting for, and I'll put it in the GitHub for now, but the prompt was essentially a prompt for doing the YouTube Analytics API and the YouTube Data API, how to wire them together. And then I asked it to do Next.js for me. And then once I got Next.js, I asked it to write a product requirements for that so that I can then bring that into Claude Code and Kiro requirements agent. So we don't need this future enhancements, but let's start a new project. Oh, first of all, I should put on my recording.
Recording state changed.
Okay, so now my outside doorbell says that I'm recording. That's another side project I'm working on, which is called Yo Status. However, let's start a new project. So for this project, we can just make sure that Node, we're using a somewhat latest version, npx create latest. I'll say yes for all of these. This is going to be called YouTube-assistant AI. We'll just accept all of these. Now we'll change into that directory, YouTube Assistant AI, and we have to add in our agents. So we're going to open this up at cursor, and so I've copied in from another project this .claude, which comes with these agents, and the ones I'm focusing on are these Kiro agents for now. And we're going to open up Claude in here. It'll probably have to be updated. It's asking for permissions for my hooks. Yeah, we need to update it. My automatic updater is not working because I corrupted something in my Claude, but that's fine. All right, so we are going to call Kiro requirement, and then we're just going to grab that ChatGPT requirements document, and we're just going to paste that right in, and that's going to start off this agent, which use this agent when working with specs in Kiro, but we're using it in Claude Code, so that's why it's a sub-agent, to develop complex features through an iterative workflow from idea to implementation. It has certain tool access. It has certain response styles. That's pretty straightforward. However, essentially what it's going to do is help you gather the requirements and write stories that can be passed on to the... Well, that was a spam call. Okay, so now it's got our requirements document. But, yeah, so it would pass you off to the design phase.
Your agent needs your input.
The design phase, and then it would pass you off to the plan phase, and then you could execute the plan. So if we look here, we've now got this requirements document. The YouTube Studio Analytics web application is a comprehensive tool designed to empower content creators with AI-powered insights and analytics derived from their YouTube channel data. The application connects to YouTube Studio Analytics API to fetch channel and video metrics, providing creators with actionable intelligence, so on and so forth. Let's see, when a user visits the application, then the system shall display a Connect YouTube channel. When the user clicks the Connect button, then the system shall redirect to Google OAuth. This is looking good. YouTube Analytics data retrieval, acceptance criteria, time period, analytics dashboard display. When a user accesses dashboard, then the system shall display video lists with thumbnails. When a user clicks sort, filters, trends. As a content creator, I want AI analysis of my thumbnails. When a user selects a video, then the system shall analyze thumbnail for clarity. That's good. So we are going to have to add some AI keys and such, but I think that's good for now. And in the design phase, we can choose what AIs to use. So let's let it write this. Okay, so the subagent is just about complete here. We want it to use Vercel, Vercel's AI SDK.
All set and ready for your next step.
Okay, so it's ready. Products, docs, AI SDK. So we want it to use this. This may also be a use case for agents. Not exactly sure yet. We shall see. Okay, let's move on. Move on to the design phase. We want to use in the design. Okay. All right, we have our design now. This is the technical design document. So the overview is the YouTube Studio Analytics web application. It's Next 15 with AI-powered insights derived from YouTube channel data. The system integrates with YouTube Studio Analytics API and leverages Vercel AI SDK for intelligent thumbnail analysis and content ideation features. Let's see here. So, key design principles, AI first architecture, security first, that's good. There's some mermaid diagrams that we could look at. Deployment architecture. So we're going to be using blob storage and Redis. Okay. So we'll need to set those up. YouTube API and Postgres, I guess. Is it using Supabase? I should change it to Supabase if it's not. Let's see. Supabase. I would like to use Supabase instead of whatever you have set up for Postgres right now. Okay, we'll see if the Kiro design agent still pops up here. It should. It's bippity boop bopping right now. Send a message to Claude while it works in real time to steer Claude in real time. That's interesting. That's helpful. Okay, yeah, I did pick up Kiro design again, so we'll let that run. That's why it's important to read what the documents it generates for the architecture plans and such. If you just accept them and then you realize later you want to change things, it's a lot easier to change them before in the plan. While the Kiro design is still generating, I think I came up with a good logo for the YouTube AI assistant. The only thing it needs is a good name. I almost like just calling it your assistant. Your assistant. Or how about YouTube, you, your assistant. I don't mind that. The other thing we can do is we can use an app that I've been working on, come up with names for domains, little name grab, npm run dev, and if it starts firing, oh, I remember there was something in this profile that was having an error with localhost. And it's just that profile. I don't know why. So this is name grab. It's an agentic domain search that I'm working on. So if we go and let's just search assistant.
Mohammed, your agent needs your input.
We're going to get some suggested TLDs, and then we can filter those TLDs down. So AI is quite expensive. .app's pretty good. So we'll go with .app. We'll see what it comes up with. While that's running, let's check into the new Kiro design. Backend is Supabase. Vercel AI ML, Supabase Auth, Google OAuth. This all looks good to me. Real-time video analytics component. Video analytics. Video performance, video card. Thumbnail analyzer. Okay. Well, let's continue on and make this design MD file. All these are stored in the docs under the spec that we started off with. But if we go back to our name grab, we've got assistant hub,
complete.
Assistant spot, my assistant.app. Not very useful. Let's try YouTube in assistant AI. Try synonym mode. I've never tried synonym
All set
mode.
and ready for what's next.
Okay, let's see here. So it's created the Kiro design. Do you want me to continue the planning phase? Yes. Please, inshallah. Okay, let's try this with this mode, AI mode. I don't know if cinema mode is working or not. It's creating the implementation plan. So if we go back to the drawing board, we're going to do Next.js Supabase, AI SDK. It had mentioned some things about in the design doc. Got them all here, so let's just paste them all in. We got our front end, our styling. Nothing seems to stand out to me that wouldn't be doable. We can start bringing in mermaid diagrams, so if we click here, and we go edit diagram, we got this download here, image as PNG, and then we can go to downloads. Oh, yeah, we want to do this to desktop. We can bring it in here. So now we have some architecture diagrams. We've got content creator, comes in through our app. Supabase Auth connects to Google, which then gives access to the YouTube APIs through the Next.js route handlers.
Your agent needs your input.
Which are authenticated. Okay, agent needs input. Let's see here. So we got our tasks now. Let's see. So initialize Next.js app, create package.json. Need to do that first part. That's already done. Configure environment variable. Set up dev tooling. A lot of these we don't need. So the env.local is good. Zod schema is good. This XXS should be already done. rid of that. Prettier will be done. ESLint will be done. Supabase backend. Yes, all that Supabase stuff. We just needed to do the client stuff. Roll of role security. Build YouTube API integration. Yeah, there's quite a bit for it to do here. This is looking good to me. So I'm going to say, make this edit. Alright, so the tasks are now generated.
All set and ready for the next step.
And it wants me to know if we want to start building. We're going to say, go right ahead. Now the executor agent's going to step in and start building. We'll see if we can get something working. I'm going to let it run for a while. So here I am checking for what it built. No, actually I'm setting up Supabase, creating a new project, and I'm giving it a name and a location. Yeah, so I fill out all these EMVs. This is the sample, but pretty much all of them are needed. The Google client ID and client secret may not be because that's handled in Supabase. I'll have to look in. But then I go to Cloud Console and log in and grab my credentials. You first have to create an OAuth consent screen. But if you go create your project and then create an OAuth credential, it'll ask you to create that consent screen. And in there, I had forgotten, but my YouTube account that's attached has to be added as a test user. And you'll see that later on, because in order to get the YouTube account, you have to use a YouTube account user. And then you also, when you're first publishing a OAuth consent, you need to add users that can use it, because it has to be approved by Google before you can go public. But you can just add users directly in the admin so you can use it publicly. And here I'm adding the YouTube APIs that I want to use. I think it's just the first two that matter, but I ended up adding all three. So here I'm enabling the data API. Here I'm enabling the analytics API. And then you go into authentication in Supabase. Then you go to your Google provider, which is kind of cut off on the left, but it's selected. And then you add the client IDs from Google Cloud Console. And so you have to first create the OAuth client ID. And then it's going to do a consent screen, which I was talking about. And then you put in your app name, some support email stuff, and then you choose external so that you can eventually make it live. But anything in external will have to have users added that you want to use, unless it's the user that you're logged in with, and it just allows that by default. But for this app, we need YouTube access as well, or you need a YouTube channel for that Google user. So this is probably the most important part for the Google OAuth. You need to fill out the Google OAuth client ID, and then you need to grab this callback URL and place it the very bottom in the authorized redirects URL. And for local, you need http://localhost. And then you can save that. And then you'll get your credentials. I add them into my env file locally, my .env.local. But as you can see, I'm just showing the sample where I would add them. And then from there, I think what's left is, the API key for YouTube. That's how YouTube connects, but it needs the OAuth as well. So when you click on that API key, it'll give you the key. And then I also need an OpenAI API key for analyzing the thumbnails and doing content idea generation in the app. So here's me creating an API key. I don't know how I lost my audio, but regardless, we'll get this finished. Also, if you have any ideas of something you want me to build, just leave it in the comments, or any questions. So I'm going to push up my migration that it built, or I'm going to link the project first. So the URL, that's the public project URL, it's got this ID in the middle of it, so you can copy that. And then you do Supabase link -- project ref. As you can see, I'm just figuring that out here. You need the -- project ref. Then you just put in your ID from the URL that's provided, and it's in the connection section in Supabase under apps. And then once it's connected, I'm going to try this migration up, but I'm pretty sure it's Supabase DB push, because migration up is for local. So you just need to do Supabase DB push. I have to enter my password. I have that stored. Okay, now the schema is going up. So I think after this, we can actually see the site. So we're on npm run dev. It's pretty basic. You'll notice at first that the channel does not connect. Oh, that's that same localhost problem. So here's the dashboard. Pretty straightforward, but I think it looks good. It can always be improved very easily, but at least the structure is there. But the big part is, can we log in? So I made the mistake of logging in with the wrong account at first, because it doesn't have a YouTube channel associated with it. So it's asking for the permissions, but there's no YouTube channel associated. However, the connect to YouTube button wasn't even working yet, so it didn't matter so much because this connect channel button doesn't do anything. So now I need to go and add some code to get that working, and then I'll realize that I need to log in with the right account as well. Okay, so this time I'm trying to sign in with my YouTube account. I see that I haven't added the user to Google Cloud Console, so I'm adding that user in the OAuth consent screen area. But it's still not going to work because I need to connect in that button. So it connects my YouTube channel, but this time it's just telling me that it's a test account. I click continue, I select my YouTube account, and connect channel still doesn't do anything. So that's where we need to do some further code, further feature enhancements, or feature building actually. And there's also, I noticed that there's this error creating user profile. So I have to try and get that fixed. It looks like it's a security policy, which is good that Supabase has like good security policies to start with, so that you aren't just opening up your database to everyone. So I'm taking a screenshot of the feature that I want working. I can paste that directly in. I'm prompting here for asking it to create the connection button to YouTube. Currently it does nothing. And I'm pasting in the image. Then I'm also pasting in that RLS policy. Now, we're pretty close here to actually having a working feature. Turns out pretty good if I remember correctly. Well, I know it does, since this is my second round recording this part of the audio. It ends up being able to pull in most of my channel. I don't test the analyze button yet, but it has the statistics, and it's pretty good for a pretty much 2-prompt flow. I was just checking here to see if the channel button connection was in the tasks, but I didn't see it there. So I don't think it missed anything in the tasks, which is good. And I'm just checking to see if I like the plan to make the API route, callback route, the migration, and so on and so forth. So I'm letting it do that. I'm stopping the app. I'm going to run the migration. I need the DB password, fix user profiles migration. I need to rerun the server. And technically it should have worked, so we'll see what ends up happening here. I'm just reading back the instruction set that it said it was going to do to verify. Oh, this YouTube API scopes. I wasn't quite sure if that was something that needed to be done somewhere, but like on the admin of like the console or something, but It didn't seem to be required. Maybe I have to add scopes in the consent screen later on, but so now it says failed, but I think I have to retry logging in. YouTube Analytics, choose the right channel, continue, connect channel, and now it should pull in the whole channel. It's going to take a little bit. It's just telling me here that it's not necessary for the scopes. It's already asking for them. Yeah, so here's the channel with analytics, and then an analyze button for the thumbnails, and then we'll start fleshing out the rest of this app. If you like this, give it a like or subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions.
From your calendar, help with the house starts in 10 minutes.
For the scopes, it's already asking for them. Yeah, so here's the channel with analytics, and then an analyze button for the thumbnails, and then